Hello and welcome to our video for the York College Disc Golf Course. Today is April 27th, 2012. Here's our original proposal, just from the overhead view. We'd kind of laid out and walked out. And we heard from facilities that the master plan included both a softball field and a practice soccer field. So here's our adjustments to try to make it all work out well together and have a good overall flow. We're going to show you just some pictures from a walk around, and there'll be the area where the picture is, and then the picture. The intersection it'll start near is 10th and Florida, by request from the president of York College. And here's the boys' apartment area. This will be a picture to the west. This is a picture to the north. And this is kind of where hole 1 begins. And we've kind of crudely drawn in some helpers here for you. Feel free to pause it if you want to take a better look at the pictures. Just for speed's sake, they're all set to about 5 seconds to get through this in a reasonable amount of time. Hole 1 is a par 3, 262 feet. Might also note that there is an old railroad that had run through here, and they've converted it to a walking path, but they do have plans to cut that hill down a bit to use the dirt for the softball field. Hole 2 is the shortest hole, and it plays down 180 feet, par 3, and across a small creek. And due to development in the area, the creek is usually either dry, or if there's been rain, there's up to about 4 inches of water in it. The facilities, gentleman we spoke with also mentioned that they'd be interested in putting in 2 or 3 walk bridges to the area, so we try to incorporate those in the best way that we could. This will be hole 3. It's 308 feet, par 3. It'll play across the water. We're looking to reuse a bridge between from hole 2 and 3. And this just kind of gives you a view of the area. And this will be from the south side facing north. We've also tried to keep in mind the distance overall walked, trying to keep it a fair length course, but not having you travel too far between holes. Here we're looking at hole 4. It's 360 feet. It's the longest hole, and kind of depending on how far out this softball field comes, it'll probably be a par 3 or a par 4 for distance. At the end of hole 4, you'd come up the hill and throw away from the Holtis Field House to hole 5. And again, the gentleman from facilities mentioned they were wanting to clean the area out to be more park-like, so that it would be easier to mow and maintain. And hole 5 would be an area that we would need to do probably the most clearing to make it work. Hole 5 is 205 feet, par 3. But I might also mention that the Holtis Fieldhouse is open to the public for certain hours, and they are posted on the building. I will try to keep those updated. They have restrooms and a drinking fountain available to the public, as well as a nice walk path, and just a field house as well that's used by the college. This is the north side facing south. We don't have a clear vision of how hole 5 will play through, but hopefully there'll be a couple of good sized trees in the way that'll force you to throw around or over. There'll be a short walk down to the tee for hole 6, which is a little bit of a tunnel shot. It's rather forgiving with high sides. Hole 6 is 266 feet, and it will play short of the creek. And of course, none of these holes are final. They are just the suggestion that we've been looking at currently. And we are more than open to suggestions and insights that you might have. The old railroad bridge is kind of neat for scenery. We're going to be taking a look at hole 7 and 8. Hole 7 is 304 feet, par 3. It looks to where it'll have a couple of trees in the way, hopefully force a little more challenging shot, with possibly a bridge at the end, if not just walking up to the sidewalk and around the culvert that's already there to start hole 7. Excuse me, hole 8. The one downside we've seen in this area would be that wild shots on 7 or 8 could end in each other's fairways. But trying to get good length holes on the area, this is about the best we have come up with thus far. And you'll kind of see in the pictures there's quite a bit of elevation change. For 8, if you kind of stay on the top side of the hill, it should be a pretty easy drive and easy approach shot for a par. Hole 8 is 320 feet. With a little bit of elevation drop at the end. And there's a neat little window to start hole 9 down in the gully and come back up to the middle of the hill. One of the York College students was very interested in having a putting practice green. We're trying to incorporate that with hole 9 by putting it kind of in the middle of this open field, with the idea of having distance markers for putting games or just practice in general. And you can kind of see it wraps around where hole 1 began. This is the overhead. Remember to keep your disc clean, and we appreciate you watching our video. If you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you.